Level 1. The candidate. You're offered a job. No interview happened. No application was submitted. Someone has been watching you for months. Your habits, your language skills, your reactions under pressure before you ever knew you were being considered. Then one day, a stranger sits next to you and says one sentence that changes everything. This is what happens to you at every rank inside the world's most secretive intelligence agency, Mossad. Unlike almost every intelligence agency in the world, Mossad doesn't accept open applications. There's no careers page, no job posting, no form to fill out. In most cases, Mossad finds you through recommendations from the Israeli military, university professors who quietly flag exceptional students, or years of unnoticed observation. You could be a soldier who showed unusual composure under fire, a linguist fluent in 3 Middle Eastern dialects, an engineer with a mind for solving problems no one else can. Whatever the reason, someone decided you were worth watching, long before you ever knew it.
Once selected, you enter a process almost no outsider has ever fully mapped. 7 ranks, each one designed to strip away who you were and rebuild you into someone the state can trust with its darkest secrets. Most candidates don't make it past rank 2. You're about to see all 7. You don't know it yet, but your evaluation has already begun. For months, sometimes years, Mossad's talent spotting network has been quietly building a file on you through people who know you, people who've worked with you, sometimes even people you've never met who simply passed your name along. Then, one day, contact happens. It's never dramatic. A former professor invites you for coffee. A family friend mentions a government opportunity. Sometimes it's even more indirect. A stranger strikes up a conversation that feels random, but isn't. This first conversation is a test disguised as small talk. They're not asking about your resume. They're watching how you think, how you handle unexpected questions, how you react when pressed, whether you notice you're being evaluated at all. If you pass this invisible first filter, you're given something unusual, a phone number with instructions to call only from a specific location at a specific time. No explanation, just a test of whether you can follow precise instructions without asking why. Most candidates never even realize this stage happened. They either brushed off the conversation, missed the subtle cues entirely, or failed the simplest task, showing up on time, from the right location, saying nothing to anyone about the call. Those who follow through are quietly moved to the next level. By the end of level 1, out of everyone Mossad has been silently watching, only a small fraction are still being considered. You still don't have a job offer. You don't even know you're in a selection process. Level 2, the recruit. You make the call. A calm voice on the other end gives you an address. Not an office building, but an ordinary apartment in a residential neighborhood. No signage, no security cameras visible, just a door. Inside, there's no receptionist, no waiting room, just a person who introduces themselves with a first name only, and you understand, without being told, that it isn't their real one. This is where the real evaluation begins. Over several meetings, spread across weeks, you're asked to talk about your life in exhaustive detail. Your family, your beliefs, your weaknesses, the things you've never told anyone. Not because they're curious, because they need to know exactly what could be used against you before an enemy ever finds out. You're also given small, strange tasks between meetings. Memorize a series of numbers and recite them a week later. Notice and report every security camera on a specific street. Follow a stranger for 2 blocks without being seen. None of it is explained. All of it is graded. This stage exists to answer one question. Can you operate under instruction, under pressure,
without needing to understand the full picture. Intelligence work often means acting on partial information, trusting a process you can't see the whole shape of. Some recruits break here, not from difficulty, but from the disorientation of being tested constantly with no clear rules. Those who adapt, who follow instructions precisely and notice details others miss, move forward. By the end of level 2, the number has dropped again, and you still haven't officially been told what agency you're being recruited into. Level 3, Midrasha. If you make it this far, you're finally told the truth. This is Mossad. And now begins the part almost no outsider has ever fully documented. Training at a facility known only as Midrasha, the Academy. You arrive with a small group of other candidates, people who, like you, were quietly selected over months or years. You won't learn their real names. You won't learn where you actually are. Even the instructors go by aliases. Training here runs for roughly a year, split between classroom instruction and field exercises unlike anything in a normal military course. You study languages, often 2 or 3, chosen specifically for regions you may operate in one day. You study religion, culture, and history deeply enough to convincingly discuss them with someone who grew up living them. Then comes tradecraft. You learn surveillance detection, how to walk a city block and know without looking directly whether you're being followed. You learn to build a cover identity so complete that you can answer questions about a childhood you never had, a job you never worked, without a flicker of hesitation. Exercises are designed to fail you in ways that feel real. You're sent into a city to recruit a role-playing target, and if your cover story has even one loose thread, the exercise ends. And so, sometimes, does your place in the program. Psychological pressure never lets up. Instructors interrupt your sleep for surprise evaluations. They question your cover story at random moments, hoping to catch a contradiction. The goal isn't cruelty. It's finding out, before your life depends on it, whether you can hold a lie together under real stress. Some candidates who reach this level, who passed months of invisible tests, still wash out here. Not from lack of intelligence, but because performing a false identity day after day without a single crack is one of the hardest things a human mind can sustain. By the end of level 3, only a small handful remain. You are no longer being trained to do a job. You are being rebuilt into someone else entirely. Level 4, the field trainee. Classroom training is over. Now you're sent somewhere your instructors can't fully protect you, the real world. You're deployed, often to a foreign country, under your newly built cover identity, for a series of live exercises that carry real consequences if you fail. This isn't a simulation with actors anymore. The people you interact with don't know you're being tested. The risks, while managed, are genuine. Your first assignment is usually simple on the surface. Live under your cover for an extended period without breaking it. Rent an apartment. Hold a job interview. Make friends. Attend a religious service in a faith that isn't yours, and answer questions about it naturally. Every interaction is a chance for your story to fall apart, and no one is coming to save you if it does. Then come the operational drills. You're asked to identify and approach a specific stranger, build rapport over days or weeks, and gather a piece of information they wouldn't normally share without ever revealing why you wanted it. You learn to read people the way a chess player reads a board. What they fear, what they want, what would make them talk. You're also trained in counter-surveillance, not just noticing if you're followed, but knowing how to lose a tail through crowded streets, public transport, and dead-end alleys, all without appearing to try. Communication becomes an art form. You learn dead drops, leaving information in a hidden location for someone else to collect, so two people never need to meet. You learn signals so subtle that an entire message can be passed with the placement of a coffee cup. Field evaluators are watching from a distance the entire time, grading your instincts under pressure that classroom scenarios can never fully replicate. Some trainees who excelled in Midrasha collapse here because reading a textbook about deception is nothing like living it day after day with no one to tell you you're doing it right. By the end of level 4, you've proven something classroom training alone never could, that you can operate alone, unsupervised, and still hold everything together. Level 5. The Case Officer. You've survived training. Now you're given something far more dangerous than an exercise. A real assignment, with real stakes, and no instructor watching your back. As a case officer, your job is no longer to prove yourself, it's to produce results. You're assigned a region, sometimes a specific country, and tasked with building a network of relationships that could one day yield intelligence critical to national security. This starts slow. You spend weeks, sometimes months, simply existing in your environment, attending events, joining organizations, letting people get used to seeing your face. Trust in this world cannot be rushed. Move too fast and you raise suspicion. Move too slow and you accomplish nothing. Eventually, you identify a potential source, someone with access to information you need. Maybe they work in a government ministry. Maybe they're disillusioned with their own regime. Your task is to build a relationship with this person without ever revealing your true purpose until the moment is right to make an approach that could change their life and possibly end yours if it goes wrong. Every conversation is calculated. Every gift, every favor, every shared meal is a small investment toward a goal the other person doesn't know exists. You learn to read hesitation, fear, and greed, because all three, handled correctly, can turn a stranger into an asset. The isolation of this level is unlike anything before it. You can't discuss your work with anyone, not friends, not family, sometimes not even other officers. You carry the full weight of every decision alone, knowing that one miscalculation could expose not just yourself, but everyone connected to the operation. Some officers thrive here, finding purpose in the precision of the work. Others quietly request reassignment, unable to sustain the isolation and moral weight long term. By the end of level 5, you're no longer being evaluated on whether you can follow instructions. You're being evaluated on whether you can carry a nation's secrets, alone, indefinitely. Level 6. The Katsa. In Mossad, there's a specific term for an officer who runs foreign agents in the field, Katsa. It's considered one of the most demanding, most elite roles inside the entire organization. And reaching it means you've proven yourself at every level before this one. As a Katsa, you're no longer just building relationships, you're managing human assets, foreign nationals who have agreed, for reasons ranging from ideology to money to revenge, to secretly work for you. Your job is to keep them motivated, keep them safe, and keep the intelligence flowing, all while operating almost entirely in the shadows of a country that would consider what you're doing an act of espionage against the state. Every asset requires a different kind of handling. Some need reassurance, constant proof that what they're risking matters. Some need money, carefully funneled in ways that can never be traced back. Some need nothing but the belief that they're finally being heard by someone who understands them. You become, in every sense, whoever your asset needs you to be. Meetings happen under extreme operational security. Different location every time. Elaborate routes to detect surveillance. Signals confirmed hours in advance and changed without warning if anything feels wrong. One mistake doesn't just end your career, it can end your asset's life. You also carry a weight most people never have to consider. If your asset is discovered, there is often nothing you can do to save them. Extraction isn't always possible. Some Katsas have run agents for years, only to lose them in a single afternoon, and had to continue their work the next day as though nothing happened. This level
demands total emotional control. You cannot let guilt slow you down. You cannot let fear compromise the mission, and you cannot let anyone, including yourself, know how much this costs you. By the end of level 6, you've become something most people will never understand. A person who holds other people's lives and a nation's secrets entirely in your hands.
Level 7. The Station Chief. This is the top of the operational ladder. The point almost no one reaches because it requires surviving every level before it without a single fatal mistake. As a station chief, you no longer run individual operations. You run all of them, overseeing every Katsa, every asset, every operation within an entire region or country, reporting directly back to Mossad headquarters in Tel Aviv.
The pressure here is different from anything before it. You're not the one taking physical risks anymore, but you carry the weight of every decision made beneath you. If an operation succeeds, headquarters expects it. If an operation fails, if an asset is exposed, if an officer is compromised, if a mission collapses in a way that damages the country's relationship with a foreign government, that responsibility lands on you.
You spend your days balancing an impossible set of demands, protecting your people in the field, producing intelligence that shapes national security decisions, and managing relationships with political leaders back home who see numbers and outcomes, not the human cost behind them.
Few station chiefs ever appear publicly. Officially, some don't exist in any government record at all. Their identities remain protected for their entire lives, even in retirement, because the enemies made along the way don't expire when a career ends. If you make it here, you've done something almost no one else in the world has. Risen through 7 levels of one of the most secretive organizations on Earth, while the world around you never knew your name. But here's what no one tells you when you start this journey. Even if you make it to the top, you never fully leave. Officers who serve for decades often retire under the same false identity they built years earlier, because dismantling a cover this deep isn't simple, and the people who might still want revenge don't forget. Some live the rest of their lives never publicly connecting their real name to the work they did. Family members sometimes learn the truth only after retirement, or never learn it at all. Relationships carry scars that don't heal easily. Marriages strain under decades of unexplained absences, unanswerable questions, and a partner who learned long ago to stop asking. Children grow up sensing something is different about their parent, without ever being told what. And yet, ask almost anyone who reached the highest levels of this world why they stayed, and the answer rarely changes. It was never about recognition. It was about being trusted with something that mattered more than themselves. Out of everyone who was quietly being watched at level 1, most never made it past level 2. Fewer still reached Midrasha. Fewer still became case officers, then Katsas, then station chiefs. If you made it through all 7 levels, you didn't just get a job. You became one of a handful of people alive who truly understand what it costs to protect a nation from the shadows, and who will likely never be able to tell anyone the full story. 7 levels. A lifetime most people will never see. Would you have made it?